Hello everyone, it's Julie here at Big Lakes Dodge. Today I'll be showing you this 2024 Ram 3500 Bighorn crew cab with 4x4. It's got the 6.7 liter Cummins I-6 high output turbocharged engine in it with 6-speed AISIN heavy duty automatic transmission. So it's just rated to handle more weight, more heavy duty. On the front here we have our quad lens halogen headlamps. For the front we do also have a Ram cold weather cover, which I'll show you. We have hidden under our back seat, and we have some tow hooks on the front just in case we need to pull a buddy out. We got our fog lamps down at the bottom. It is chrome. We do have the 3500 and the Cummins badging on the side, as well as the Ram badging. For our wheels, we have 18 by 8 inch polished aluminum wheels. We also have front and rear heavy duty shock absorbers. We have remote keyless entry and remote start, as well as our tow mirrors. We don't have the tow mirrors. We have power heated folding telescoping exterior. Yeah. So. We also have the what is it called? Utility lights? Forward and reverse utility lights. Okay, now we'll look at the interior. In here we have our door, which is solid black color. It has a little bit of chrome to break it up. This is a fabric insert there, and then I believe this is I can't remember what it is, but it's meant to look like wood grain anyways. And then we have our power locks, power windows, our door pockets. So we have this little nook there to throw things. And then we have the bigger door pockets so we can put a drink and some snacks along there. The interior is an all black interior. Our seats are a mixture of the gray and the black. I think they call it diesel gray. Let me double check that. Yeah, black interior, diesel gray seats. So they are cloth seats. It does have a little thing on there to tell you how to use the headrests. So these you do want to adjust to be right snug next to your head. That just helps prevent whiplash from happening in the case of an accident. All right, they are heated in the front row, and on this side it is manual. On the driver's side we have a powered seat. We have our, what is it called, jack compartment underneath this plastic panel. So all you do is stick your fingers under there, you pull, and it comes right off. And then you just go ahead and pop it back in there once you're all done with your jack. We have our heavy duty all weather floor mats. So these are a like hard rubber kind of mat. And then they do come out, so they lock into place, so that way they're not going to be shimmying around on you. But then you can take them out easily after you unlatch those clips, and you can go and hose them off at the car wash or whatever. On our dash here we have our Bighorn badging, just to show you our trim level. And then inside here we have a nice little storage space, which does have a removable liner. So it has this little rubber liner in there, so you can take that out also for easy cleaning. So say your kiddos put candy in there or something, it melts, it makes a big mess. You want to take it out, clean it nice and easy, you got that ability. And then we also have an interior light in here, so that way you can see what you're grabbing. When you're making those car trips in the dark, you want to be able to see. And then in our glove compartment, we have our owner's manual. It's still sealed, I didn't open it up, but we have our owner's manual, our quick start guide. We have a little pouch in there to hold all this information in, as well as our Sirius XM information. It's just hidden behind there. And then a little bit, I don't ever really quite know what these are for, but that's there. And as well as our consumer information. So that's for like loading up a camper. All of that's located in your glove box. Then we do also have lots of extra room for many, many gloves. I feel like you could fit at least 10 pairs in there, depending on the size of the gloves. All right, then we have this little nook in here. I find that this is a good place to throw like your extra charging cords when you don't need them, because when you leave them plugged in and they're lying around, they kind of get in the way of when you're trying to put your drinks away. So I find that the perfect spot to put them in, but you can put whatever you want that could fit in there. Don't mind that big truck. You see it in the back there? It's making a racket. Anyways, we're gonna close this. That's just a quick look at our interior there. We're gonna go on in the back and you have a look back here. So back here we have our door, same trim. It does have these stitching, which I forgot to mention, and on our seats we have the double stitching instead of the single stitching. That just helps prevent blowouts over time. So on those older trucks you'll see the cushioning's starting to poke out. That's not going to happen, at least not as easily unless you're really, really rough with them. But the double stitching will hold up better over time for sure. One other thing that I forgot to point out is that we do have side steps on this one. So they are, what do they call them? 1 second. Bright flat wheel to wheel. I don't know why they call them bright. I guess because of the chrome. And they are flat wheel to wheel side steps. They have the Ram logo on there. Now let's look at our back interior. So also cloth back here. It's a 60-40 split bench. So this side is our 60 of the 60-40 split. Folds up in one piece, and that one folds up all on its own. In here we have our tailgate removal kit. So this is some extra storage space. Let me just show you that quickly. So got some extra storage space in there. Right now what we have tucked away in there is our tailgate removal kit. So when you are taking your tailgate off for whatever reason, you are going to want to pop this in there where your wiring goes. Pop your wiring into there. And that just helps prevent them from corroding, you know, from dirt, whatever. And that just protects that while your tailgate is off. And then when you go ahead and stick your tailgate back on, make sure to remove this and plug back in your wiring, just so that way it won't lock up on you, because you won't be able to open it back up if you do not reconnect the wiring, as it is powered. And then you would have to go into the access panel on the tailgate itself and then manually open up the latch, which honestly sounds like a pain, so don't do that. And then we have our auxiliary switch hookup. So these are just in case you want to hook up any accessories and whatnot. So we have these here for you, because we do have on our instrument panel, we have instrument panel mounted auxiliary switches. So they're mounted on the instrument panel up at the front there. I'll point them out once we get up there, but they're nice and easy access for you. And then we also have the hookups for that. Then we have 2 cup holders down there. We also have 2 more up there, as well as the ones in our door pockets. So lots and lots of room for drinks. I know I always need all of that space on long car trips for my drinks. All right, then we have our second row in-floor storage bins, which are in there. They're fairly spacious. And then they do also have this removable liner, so you can, it's gonna be hard to do with my gloves. So you can, oh my gosh, okay, there we go. So you can take this out, use it to transport things, or you can also just take it out for cleaning. So say you store oil or something in there and you want to take it out and clean it, you can do that instead of having to go in there and like that. You can just take it out, rinse it off, put it back, and then we close that up. We also have our heavy duty, what are they called? All-weather floor mats back here as well. And then our back seat pockets, so you can put a book, magazine, map, if you carry those. All that can go into your back seat pockets if you want. There was something that I remembered I was going to mention. Oh yes, the storage. So one thing that I love about the Rams, and I always point out all of the storage spots that we have, and one thing that I wanted to mention this time around is that in all of the storage space combined, there's enough to fill up a 40-gallon like oil drum worth of stuff. So all of the things that you want to take with you in your truck or like store in here, it has room for all of that. That's a fun fact that I learned, so I'm going to share that with you. All right, now one more thing before I move around to the back is that I want to point out that we do have 2 more cup holders in the center here. So if you don't need this middle extra seat but you need more cup holders, you can go ahead and pull that down, and then they're right there, nice and easy access for you. And then in our center console here, we have this little nook here. I really don't know what you would put there, but there's extra storage space. You can put something there. Sometimes you have knickknacks and stuff in your pockets. You need some place to put them, and there you go. All right, so that's back. I dropped my clipboard. Don't mind me. Okay, so that's our back seat. We're gonna go on to the rear. This is a 1-ton and it's a single wheel, so you can see there's no dually here. We got a single wheel axle. For our suspension, we do have the leaf suspension as well as the coils, I believe. Or no, is it just the leaf? I think it might just be. What else can I mention back here? I already mentioned our front and rear heavy duty shock absorbers. Oh, it's a anti-spin differential rear axle, in case anyone was wondering. So what that is is if, you know, your right rear tire isn't getting enough grip. If it's starting to spin out, it'll actually send power to the other tire, so that way it can help out a little bit to get you unstuck in case you're stuck in the mud or something like that. We also have our rear mud flaps on there, so those are ready to go for you. If you wanted the front, you could also get those added on, but we have the rear on there already, so that's one less thing to worry about. What else? I'm just thinking. Just give me 1 second. No, I think we're good. Okay, so we'll move on to back here. We have our bed step, which will help you get in and out of your truck bed if need be. Just clearing away the snow so we can see it a little better. Then we also have our 4 and our 7-pin wiring harness. So that's if you are going to be pulling a trailer, which most likely if you're buying a 1-ton you are going to at some point. That's for hooking up your trailer brakes and your lights for your trailers. Then we also have these little lights here, which come on when it's dark out. They light up your license plate so the cops know who to give a ticket to. You can easily cover those. No. Okay, anyways, and then we also have a class, let me see, I think it's a 5. Class 5 hitch receiver. So that's what we have on here. It's more heavy duty than the class 4, if anyone's wondering that. And then also tucked away under there we have our spare tire. So that's just in there. How you access that is that we do have a little panel. Where is it? Maybe it's in there. It looks different than on our half tons, which is where I learned how to access it. But I think you stick your tire rod in there and then lower it down. It cranks down. Okay, moving on. This is our tailgate. As I mentioned before, if you are gonna take it off, which is really an easy process, you put it at a 45-degree angle and then you lift. You make sure that this clip is unclipped on both sides, and then all you do is lift it right off and it comes off like that. But if ever you forget to hook up your wiring, this is the access panel that I was talking about. So you would need to open up all of these little screws there. This panel comes off and then you can access the latch inside. We also have the 5th wheel and gooseneck prep in this one, because you know, if you have a 1-ton, you're probably gonna want that. So we came prepared. We have that in there. And we also have our hookups in here. And we have these little hooks here for tying down your cargo throughout the 4 corners of the truck bed. So that way you can, you know, put it across, tie down your, I don't know, your side-by-side or whatever you put in the back here. Then we also have our cargo management system. So the truck bed itself comes with this automatically. All of these little indents that you see, you can actually put like wood planks across, and then they'll just go slide in there. And that just helps divide up your cargo in the back. So say you want to haul some propane tanks, you don't want them flying around in your truck bed, you can go ahead and put them back there, put a board across. You can also put them this way, or it's kind of hard to tell because I didn't clear away the snow. Let me just quickly clear that away. Right here and right there. And you can put one across and then divide it horizontally as well. So that way you have, you know, some space down here and some space up there. So that's our cargo management system back here. Center stop with cargo view camera. Oh yes, so we do have the center stop laid up there with the cargo view camera. So we do have a camera that looks down at the truck bed. So if you are lining up that 5th wheel, or even if you just want to make sure that your stuff isn't flying out the back, you can go ahead and use the camera to do that. We have our backup camera back here and our Ram logo, which is nice and shiny, as well as our 4x4 and our Bighorn logo on the back. So that's the rear. Now we'll move on this way. We have the side steps back here, same thing. And the exact same thing on this side. So doors, door pockets, my little nook there, back seat pockets. Don't mind the snow that I'm putting around. And we have our cloth seat on this side. It folds up as well. Here is our Ram cold weather cover, which you're gonna want. That just goes on your front end in order to I don't know, help stop the cold air from going through. I can't quite remember what it's for. Help stop dirt and debris from getting through to your rad. I think that's what it's for. Anyways, but we also have some storage space down here. Close this up. We have those little hooks up there in case you are wanting to, I don't know, bring a suit with you on a long car ride. You're going to the city for a meeting. You can hang things up there. You could hang grocery bags up there if you wanted. Make sure your bread's not getting squished. We also have our in-floor storage bins on this side as well. But that's it for back here. We'll go on into the driver's side. Talk a bit more up here, because on this side we have our power driver's seat. So adjusting your lumbar support would be this one here. And these ones adjust the seat itself. So this one adjusts the bottom, move forward, move back, move down, move up. And this one goes back or forward for the backrest. Okay, I'm starting to get cold. On our door here, we have power locks, power windows. This locks our windows so that way no one can open them up. We have our controls for our mirrors, so when you select one, that's how you adjust your mirrors here, is with these arrows. And then you can also adjust the bottom mirror. So you select that one, left, and the bottom, and then you can move that one around if you see that moving there. You can also telescope them, so you click that one, it'll deselect it because it's going to do both at the same time. You can move them out and back in. And we also have these little lights there. Okay, so that's our door. That's what we got there. We have this little foam insert, so that way if you are carrying like a drink that isn't a... Alright, sorry about that, my video cut out. Anyways, those inserts are for if you have a smaller drink or water bottle, it's not going to flop around in there. Alright, now we also have our controls for our headlamps. So they are set to the auto mode, which you know, they'll use your daytime running lights and then they'll switch to your nighttime lights, the brighter ones, or your fog lights or whatever. It'll just automatically choose which setting it needs to be on. You can adjust the brightness on this side. This one is if you want to turn them off, I believe. And this one is the little lights on the side there. I believe it also turns on the center stop lamp as well. But those are how you control your lights. This is how we adjust our steering wheel. You pull that forward and then you move it up or down. I believe it's also a telescoping. Let me just, I don't think I can do it with one hand, honestly. But anyways, it does tilt, goes up and down for sure. And we also have our rocker switches on the back here. This one does your tuning for your audio, so you can switch your songs or your radio station. On this side, we do the volume control, so you can turn the volume up or down, just so that way you won't have to remove your hands from the wheel, start fiddling with things over there. You can do it just by simply moving your hand down, clicking these buttons there. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. We'll look at the full steering wheel. We can also look at all the buttons on here. So we do have our cruise control on this side. That just works like any other cruise control would. You click this one in the middle to engage it, and then you would set your speed up or down to where you want it to be. This is if you need to cancel it quickly. You click that, it'll turn right off, and then you'll start slowing down automatically unless you start pressing the accelerator pedal. And this one is our resume. So if you do hit the cancel, it doesn't turn it off completely. It just disengages it, so it will remain in the background, and then if you click resume, it'll go back to the speed that you were at and get you up to that speed. Then we also have our gear limiter, so you can gear up or gear down. From what I've heard, that this is most useful for when you're gearing down, when you're going down a hill and whatnot and you're in too high of a gear. You can go ahead and gear down that way. And then we also have our controls for our driver information screen, which I'll go over quickly after I tell you about our voice command. So you hold this one down and it does activate the voice command, which connects through your Bluetooth. So once you have your Bluetooth connected, then you can use that voice command in order to tell your digital assistant to play a certain song or turn up the volume or whatnot. And this is our call answer and call end. So that's if you are getting a phone call, all you do is click that one and it'll answer it automatically. It does also come up on your uconnect screen, just something to keep in mind. Okay, then we have our driver information screen, which is just in the middle of our cluster there. So we do have the actual analog gauges, but we do also have this little information screen in the middle. I find the driver information screen so handy because it has all this information that you need just right there. So I'm going to use these buttons here to control it. When you click OK when you're on your speedometer, it does switch to miles per hour. So if ever it switches to that and you don't know why and you don't know how to get out of it, all you do is click OK again. So that's just something to keep in mind. Then we have our different pages. I'm going to scroll down. Then we have our vehicle information. So you can see our tire pressure. You are going to want to, like our rear tires, I think need to be inflated a little more. But you are going to want to keep those at the proper pressure. And that helps reduce your tire wear. It helps with your fuel economy. And it's just overall better for the truck. Then we have vehicle information. Oh, one thing, okay, before I move on, one thing about the tire pressure sensors is that they are located in the valve stem. So if ever you're wondering how that works, it has a little sensor in the valve stem of the tires itself. And then those are pretty cheap to replace if ever your tire pressure sensor goes. They're not too bad. I believe it's under $100. Okay, now moving on. I'm just going to turn off our cruise control because I forgot to turn that off earlier. We have our coolant temp, trans temp, oil pressure, your exhaust brake, you can monitor it there, your boost pressure, your DPF, if ever you're wondering anything about that, you can check it here. Then we have our oil life, fuel filter life, battery voltage, and then the gauge summary. So you can see the summary of all of those gauges just right here. And then your engine hours, so you can see how many hours you've spent idling, how many hours you've spent driving, and the total engine hours. Then we're back to our tire pressure. Scrolling down, you can see the fuel economy. This does adjust based off of your driving. Since this is a brand new vehicle, it hasn't really been driven around much. So that's why the fuel economy is just way out of whack. Once you get driving and it learns based off of your driving patterns, it'll give you your average fuel economy after that. Then we have our trip information, so you can track trip A and trip B information. That just helps you see the distance that you've traveled, how much fuel you've burned, and the time of the trip itself. Trailer tow information, so you can track your trailer trip information, so that just shows the distance that you've traveled. It's really good to keep track of that because if you're making lots of long trips with your trailer, you're going to want to know when you got to replace your brakes and whatnot. So this just helps with that to keep track of it. Then we have our trailer brake, so you can see the gain that you set. The trailer brake controller itself is right here on the instrument panel. So that's where you find that information. Trailer light check. Okay, so I almost skipped this. We do have trailer light check as well, so you can check your trailer lights, make sure that they're hooked up properly. Then we have our audio, so you have if you're playing from the radio, it'll show which radio station as well as the song playing. If you have your phone connected, it'll also show which song is playing from your phone, and I think it'll also show which phone that you're playing it from in case you have more than one phone connected. Messages, so this is if it tells you have low tire pressure or whatnot, it will store that message here for later viewing. Then we have our screen setup, so we do have different areas, like right there you can see which gear we're in. Yeah. Then you can see our oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, my brain is working so slow. Okay, then we have our direction that we're facing, our compass, and we have like all these different spots. So in the four corners, I believe, you can just go ahead and adjust. Oh, it only does the two. So you can adjust which information is where. So if I go ahead and click, let's say upper right, I can do the outside temp instead. I could do the time, how much range we have on the fuel that we have, average economy, current economy. You can just kind of adjust which information that you want there. So that's just something cool to keep in mind, is that the information screen is adjustable, so that way you have the information that you want there. Alright, now we also have our commercial settings, which I don't really ever get into too much, but we have that in case you need it. But yeah, that's our driver information screen. We'll move over to our uconnect on this side. So over here, I pulled up our Bluetooth because I was trying to use the voice command, but we have our home page, which has our adjustable widgets. You click that little pencil there and you can select which widget that you would like. Right now we have our audio as well as our phone. Then we have the actual audio page itself. So if you go into the media, we do have which audio is playing. So you can choose AM, FM radio, Sirius XM radio. You can play through Bluetooth or USB, USB-C port, or auxiliary port. There are all kinds of ways to connect your phone. And then if you are picking a radio station, you can save your presets down at the bottom here. All you do is hold and it saves that for you. You can also browse through all of the different radio stations. So everyone knows Sirius XM has so many radio stations. So you can go ahead and browse the popular ones here. You can select which source that you're choosing to play your media from. And you can also adjust the audio settings itself. So like the balance and fade, you know, like your bass and stuff like that. You can adjust those there. Then we also have the phone. So this is where you would find your device manager. So you can select which phone you're connected to. If you do have more than one phone connected, you can have 2 active phones, or you can deselect that and have just one phone active. But it's nice if you do have like a home phone and a work phone, not quite a home phone, but a cell phone, a private cell phone, and your work phone. You can have both of those connected so you can get both messages popping up. Then we have our vehicle settings. So here you can adjust so many things, like the touchscreen beep. If it beeps while I touch it, so you see when I click that, it beeps. You can adjust that. You can adjust the brightness, the pop-ups, so many things. So if ever there's something about the uconnect screen that you don't quite like, usually there is ways to customize that to how you would like it. Then we have our display settings, safety and driving assistance, which shows all of our safety and driving assist what are they called? Features here. So this one doesn't come with too much because it does seem to be more of a work truck than anything. But we have our rear seat alert, which I'm honestly going to turn off. I'll save you the trouble. No one ever really cares for that. So all that is when you turn off the vehicle, it gives you a little alert on your driver information screen just to check your rear seat. I guess so you don't forget pets or kids or something, but I really don't know. So I'm going to deselect that for you. But then we also have our hill start assist. What that is, and one thing that I'm going to show you really quickly, is that the little eye next to it. Let me go closer. You click that and it actually shows what it is. So provides start assistance when the vehicle is on an incline. So let's say you're stopped in traffic at an incline, and you know how when you let go of the brakes when you're ready to accelerate, you have that bit of rollback. So all it does is hold the brakes for a little bit longer and then gets you going. So that way, you know, you have less rollback. I believe it only holds the brakes for like 2 seconds though, so don't trust that to hold you for a while. Then we have our tire fill assist, and then you can also adjust the clock and date. So if it syncs with your GPS, or not quite your GPS, but syncs with your phone, or if you have to adjust it manually. So all of that's here. If you want it 12-hour or 24-hour format. Your cameras. So if you want the active guidelines, which let me just go into our controls. We're going to go into our rear view camera. So the active guidelines are these little lines on the side here. It shows, so we also have the rear parking sensors, I believe. No, we don't actually. Let me see. I'm just looking. Let's look together. We don't have parking sensors. Anyways, these help you judge to the distance from the vehicle. So green is good, yellow is starting to get a little suspicious, red is when you know you're going to hit something. But the active guidelines themselves turn with the wheel. So if I turn the wheel, those guidelines are going to turn as well, just to show where you're going, give you a good idea of where your truck's going to end up. And then the guideline in the middle is for if you are trying to line up a hitch. That just helps with that. I believe that one also moves. Yeah, all of them move. So those are the active guidelines. If you don't want them to move and you want them to stay set straight exactly as they are, you can also adjust that in the settings as well. Then along with that, we have our trailer hitch zoom. So you click this little magnifying glass, it zooms in when you get really close to lining up your hitch. You're going to want to do that so that way you just have more precision with it. Then we have our cargo view camera, which I was telling you about. You can see our truck bed there. You can see the fifth wheel prep, and then you can also see if anything's going to fly out of your truck bed. We have an automatically dimming rear view mirror, so if someone's brightening you from behind, it's going to automatically dim so that way you're not blinded. The only time that won't engage is when you are reversing, because you will need extra visibility at that point. Then you can click apps. It shows all of the apps that the vehicle has here, just for easy access. So that's our uconnect system. We do also have the actual physical buttons down here. So like for our climate control, you can adjust it here. So we have the fan settings, our temperature, our different modes. So you go ahead and push here to turn on your mirror defrosters. So when you click that, it's going to turn on your rear view mirror defrosters. No, not rear view. Anyways, your exterior mirrors. So they are heated, and that'll turn on that function, melt away the little bit of snow, or get rid of fogging, you know, when it rains in the summertime. So that's what we do here. And then our different modes, you turn the dial to all the different modes that you want. Our heated seats, so we have 3 different settings for those. You can set it high, medium, or low. We have our heated steering wheel, which has 1 setting. We have our volume and tuning controls, as well as a mute button. So if we want to mute our audio quickly, and then, you know, if you get a phone call, you want to mute it, you click that so that way you don't have to turn it down and then turn it back up afterwards. You can turn the screen off altogether. And we also have our traction control and our hazards in the middle here. All right, moving down, we have trailer brake controller. We have our tow haul mode, as well as our exhaust brake right there. So you can click that. That just, from what I've been told, I've never really used it honestly, but from what I've been told, that just helps save your brakes. Like you use the exhaust brake instead, and you don't have to change your brakes as often because they're not wearing down as easily. Then we have our auxiliary switches on the instrument panel here. So if you ever want to switch between them, you have those easily accessible to you. You have our USB and our USB-C ports. So we have 2 of each. So that way if, you know, you and your passenger both want to charge your phones and you both have the same charger, you can go ahead and use those and you both get 1 each. We have an auxiliary port in the middle. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I cannot talk. Then we have our little spot to put our phone, so it sits here like this. The cord can come out the bottom, plug in there. Then we have lots and lots of storage space in here. So here's just a quick look at that. It is very, very spacious. You can throw a lot of things in here. And this little liner is removable. So it does come out as well in case anything does spill down there. You can take it out and clean it. We have our 2 cup holders. I have our key sitting in the middle here, which shows that we do have the remote start and our keyless entry, as well as a alarm. So if ever, you know, anything's happening, you want to alert people, you can click that. If some riffraffs hanging around your truck and you want to scare them away, you can use it like that as well. Then we have another little storage space here with our change compartments, so that way your change isn't just laying around the truck. I use those all the time, honestly. And then this is also removable. Okay, now we're going to open up our center console. So we have more storage space here. Also has a removable liner. This is just for the smaller things that you don't want getting lost in the abyss in that big space down there. I'm gonna open up the next part, and then this is our big storage space. So it does connect to this side as well, all the way through there. So you can see my whole arm goes through there. But tons and tons of storage space. Like you can fit so much stuff in here. I also have this little divider in case you don't want the stuff that's in here getting mixed up with the stuff in there. And this is all one big liner. So this connects to this liner. This is all one piece. So if you do need to take that out, it's gonna all come out in one piece. Don't be so shocked when it happens and this little divider here pops right off. Also, we have this nice little conversion chart there. Just something to point out. We have that. Okay, then we have our interior lights up here. So you turn them all on like that, or you can click off and they won't turn on even when you open up your doors. That's nice for when you're taking the kids out of the truck after a long car ride and you know they fell asleep. Then we have our assist button, so that's our roadside assistance, our SOS button, which calls the emergency services in case of an accident. The roadside assistance is if you need a tow truck or you need them to come help you change a tire or whatnot. We have our sunglasses compartment, and then our rear view mirror. We do have our sun visor. One other thing that I do want to point out is that we do have, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a noise canceling thing. So I think it's these ones here. They actually have microphones in there. They pick up the sound of the engine and the outside noise, and it actually does some ambient noise. It releases some noise from there, and somehow it cancels it out so it sounds quieter on a drive. This is a new thing that I've learned. I'm sharing that with you. Next couple of videos I'll probably explain it a lot better, but my brain is really not working, so that's the best I can do for now. Then we have this little area here which has our 12-volt DC port, so you can put a car charger there if you want. What else can I mention while I am here? Oh, this is an 8.4 inch display in case you're wondering. I feel like that's it. Electronic shift on the fly transfer case. So for our transfer case, it is an electronic adjustment, so you don't have the shifter for that. We have these here. I didn't really go over it. So we have 4-wheel drive high, 4 low, and 2-wheel drive. And then this little button in the middle is a neutral button. So you would use that. It's small because you don't want to bump that. That's for when you're like pulling it behind it, like, you know, camper or something. I don't know if you would do that with a big truck, honestly. Usually the truck's pulling the camper. I mean, if you're getting towed, I guess you would probably use that. We also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capabilities. And you know what? Yeah, let's wrap it up here. That's good enough. Here's one final look at the interior. Beautiful, stunning. And then one last look at the exterior. So if you are interested in this truck, or if you have any questions or want to take it for a test drive, feel free to give us a call at Big Lakes Dodge. We're always happy to help, and I'll see you in the next one.